Today on the channel, Jakks Classic Superstars Series 24. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and we're back again with Jakks Classic Superstars Series 24. If this is your first time checking out this video, you've missed episodes 1 through 23, so you can go back on my channel and check out those videos as well. We're getting to the near the end of the single run set for Jakks Classic Superstars. But after this, we got a lot to do still. We still got the two packs, the 3 packs, the deluxe classics, the ring giants, the rings, the 1 of 100s, the limited edition, the Toy Fair exclusives. I could go on and on. So we got a lot of Jakks Classic Superstars videos to come. But if this is your first time watching and first time on the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss another one of these videos. But today, we're talking about Jakks Classic Superstars Series 24. Right at the end, we only have a couple series left. It's funny how this video series is working out. As I'm recording these, one new one each week, we'll finish the last Tuesday of the year. Will be the last set for Jakks Classic Superstars, the single run. So that's kind of funny how that worked out. So close 2020 with the single carded series and then move on to the other series to start 2021. This is another interesting series, Series 24. We've talked about it the last few videos, and this one is still the same. For my area in the Midwest, did not see a lot of these. Saw bits and pieces. It seemed my local Toys R Us's, they would get, 1, maybe 2 cases per store of these later series, and that was it. They were moved on to the next series by then. So there was not a lot of time for peg warmers. I remember the RVD from this series being a bit of a peg warmer, but that's all I can remember off the top of my head about 15 years ago. As far as seeing these on the retail shelf, I just remember that LJN Rob Van Dam kind of hanging around. So you guys in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this. If you guys maybe varied in that assessment. Every place is different. Every place has different peg warmers. That's kind of the fun thing when you travel to different stores and see some of this stuff. But that's my memories getting these at Toys R Us. I don't really recall Walmart, Target, Kmart, anything like that of Series 24. And like I've said, by the time we were this deep in the series, I was just ordering off of Ringside Collectibles. That guaranteed me to get them. I got them like clockwork. That's what I was doing at this point. So there's a little backstory on Series 24. Let's get into the line like we do on all the other ones. We'll go one by one, talk about each one, read the back, and talk about them. So we're going to start off Series 24 with Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio, we've had a few. We've had LJN ones. We've had some others. This is probably my least favorite of his Classic Superstars, as he unfortunately has that dreaded Jakks giantism problem, where he's just an absolute giant here. You can take a picture of him, or take a peek of him in the package here. There he is. Comes with his patented microphone. You know Rey, he was just had the gift of gab. He would always have a microphone close to him, ready to talk, ready to turn that thing on at any time. Your typical Classic Superstars packaging, that's one of the things we love about Classic Superstars. They kept the same packaging throughout the whole run. You got the Series 24 up there on the top. But like I said, you got Rey and his giantism. That's a little rough, if you ask me. There's the old glamour shot on the side. Rey Mysterio on the other side. And then, of course, the back of the package here. You can see the whole 24 lineup down below. We'll go through all those one by one. There's his little glamour shot up top. Let's see what the prototype, if there was much difference. Different hands on the prototype, it looks like, but that's about it. So pretty key to what it was supposed to be. They just switched the hands, and we see that from time to time. I don't know, just easy. They just pop whatever hand they have at the time, and I don't know, very strange. But let's read the back. Rey Mysterio weighed 175 pounds, 5'6", finishing move, the West Coast Pop, and the 619, of course. Can't forget the 619. Titles: WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Royal Rumble winner, Cruiserweight Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, WCW Tag Team Champion, WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion. I can't remember off the top of my head who was his partner in the WCW Cruiserweight Champion. Was that Billy Kidman, I think? Part of the Filthy Animals, maybe? I don't know. My mind is aging. I don't know. I think that was right, though. But maybe not. You guys can correct me in the comments. Feel free. Like this set a lot on the back, so we'll talk about all these, but not a lot more on this Rey. Rey was a weird one. Like a lot of these classics, they didn't feel classic at the time. Obviously, Rey definitely deserves to be in this classic lineup. But I think, as far as the Ruthless Aggression era of Jakks, Rey Mysterio was about the winner. There's just so many Reys, and we were inundated with Reys in the traditional line. This was kind of one of those ones where you roll their eyes. We get so many Reys in the regular line. Do we really need another classic Rey? And for me, I think a lot of times this is easy to do for Jakks because, hey, they have the rights to Rey. They know he's popular. It's just easy to roll him into this line a bit of a cop-out a little bit on Jack's spot. And possibly he could have been a filler for maybe they wanted somebody else. It fell through. They can easily throw a Rey in at the last minute. That's kind of where my mind goes with that. So there you have it. There's good old Rey Mysterio, a stalwart of the Jakks lineup, especially the Ruthless Aggression era lineup days. Let's see who we got next. All right, next up in Series 24, one of two females in this line, which is kind of cool to see. This one was another one where back in the day you're like, why? This isn't classic. This doesn't deserve a spot in the Classic Superstars line. Now it truly does, is Trish Stratus, who we're talking about here, WWE Hall of Famer. Not her most iconic look, and one that she's really not too known for in this day and age. So I really like that this was the part of the Classic Superstars. Basically a one and done of this figure. We never got another incarnation of this Trish Stratus. This is when she was managing TNA, Albert, and Test back in the day, if you remember. So I really like this look. I think it's a great figure as far as female figures go from Jakks. Really a slam dunk, where I wasn't so high on it back then. I'm high on it now. I will have a loose one of this one in my collection soon. Just delayed, like a lot of things, delayed in the post with COVID issues and stuff. But I'll have it eventually. But really cool. I would love to see Mattel take a stab at doing this one. This would be a great flashback or one of those sub-series we see from Targets, Walmart, stuff like that. This might be a really good one for a throwback, flashback Trish Stratus figure. As we've gotten a lot of the other Trishes, we haven't got this one in a Mattel. So maybe that's a possibility here one of these days. But let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Very cool. I like the little jacket she's got, the cowboy hat. No other accessories here. But there you have it. Looking good. Typical female figure. There's not a lot of difference in the female figures. It's basically one body, and they ran it throughout. There's the old glamour shot on the side, no hat. But I always thought they got the face scan on this one 100%. I think it was a great head scan on this. See the other side there, of course, Trish Stratus. And the back there. There you go, whole lineup, glamour shot up top. But just an awesome figure. I mean, this really is. Got the 100% on the belt, if you guys remember her 100% Stratusfaction. Cowboy hat, just a slam dunk figure. Trish Stratus, 5'4", finishing move, Stratusfaction and the chick kick. Titles, women's champion. That's it, short and sweet. Canada's favorite export, Trish Stratus. Really like this one. They got the detail on the nails painted, even with some white nail polish. Got the boots and very cool soft goods jacket. So a very solid one. Actually, after all this time, this is probably my favorite Trish Stratus figure ever, just because it's so unique. It's in the classic lineup. The Mattels are good. We've got a few different Mattels over the time frame of Mattel, I guess you would say. But this one really sticks out to me. There's something different and something really cool about this one. The back on the, let's see, everything lines up with the prototype except for the 100% Stratusfaction. So we got the 100% on the actual one, which is what we want. We'd hate to see the prototype with better, saying, why is the 100% on here and not on here? It's actually on here. So they added to the prototype after the glamour shot was taken. But there you have it. There is Trish Stratus, one of two females in Series 24. Well, we talked about Trish Stratus. Might as well do the other female in the line, and that's Stephanie McMahon. Another one where it's a little bit of a head-scratcher at the time. Why are we getting this in Classic Superstars? We actually got two of these in Classic Superstars, and it also kind of felt like an easy way out with them, as obviously she was underneath the contract, very easy to put in this line. However, all this time later, this definitely deserves to be in the line, and this represents early Stephanie McMahon, so I think this is a really good figure. Time has been good to this one, like so many of the other Classic Superstars, and that, like I always say, is the beauty of the line. Maybe not classic then, classic now, so it fits. Just absolutely genius. I hope when Jazzwares comes out with a new classic line, we see a lot of the same stuff. It really makes sense over time. But this is really young Stephanie McMahon. There was also a Ringside Collectibles 2-pack with Triple H. That was a cool 2-pack, and we'll get to that in the 2-pack series. But let's talk about this Stephanie real quick. A little bit plain, not a lot going on. She's got a choker around her neck, got a microphone, which I think is just an easy accessory, as obviously Stephanie talks. She didn't really wrestle in this incarnation. So I guess what other accessory would you put her with? I would have liked to seen a hot dog or maybe a drink or something like a hamburger like the Bushwhackers got. That would have been just great. There would have been a great story behind that, but they didn't put it in there, so we didn't get to tell it. Stephanie on the side. Glamour shot. And the back, of course. Let's see. I think everything is pretty much spot on from the prototype for the most part, yeah. No changes. I do like the blue eyeshadow and the blue eyes. Really brings out her eyes. And it's just really good young Stephanie. I think they really nailed this one as well. Not a lot to say about Stephanie on the back here. 5'9", women's champion. Short and beyond sweet, I guess. They were really nice. But once again, another strong female figure from Jakks. We didn't see a ton of Stephanie McMahon's, especially in the regular Ruthless Aggression line. Off the top of my head, I think we got that 2-pack and we got this one, and that might have been it for Stephanie. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. I think we only got 2 Stephanie McMahon's. It's cool. We got Shane McMahon in the classic lineup. Of course, we got a couple of Vince McMahon's, and then we got Stephanie McMahon. Just needed that Linda McMahon. We know there was a prototype out there at one time, never got made, but really cool to get 3 McMahon's in the classic line. It's totally deserving. You know, without the McMahon's, I don't know what we would have as far as wrestling today, especially with figures and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, they've done a lot in the business in the WWE, obviously on-air talent, so it does make sense once again. So there it is, Stephanie McMahon Series 24. Let's take a look at the next one. Well, we did Stephanie McMahon, figured might as well do Triple H next, kind of flowing together here a little bit. But I was really excited to get this Triple H at the time because you guys know the traditional Ruthless Aggression series, we had a Triple H about every series somewhere. I mean, there was a million Triple H's with a lot of non-changes between them. It was just a little change of the tights a lot of time, or a different head. There was a few different heads. They would just mix and match with the different tights, and voila, you got a new figure. So I was happy when we got the Classic Superstars version. A bit of an updated one. This reminds me a lot of when the Ultimate Warrior beat him at WrestleMania in like 10 seconds. You know, nobody could stop that Ultimate Warrior. Just unstoppable force. But Triple H, really cool. I like the soft good, or non-soft goods, or the plastic goods on this one. I kind of like this one a lot for that. I think it looks better than the soft. If you guys remember back, Jakks Classic Superstar Series 1, we had soft goods on the Triple H. So this is a little bit of the yin, a little bit of the yang. I like that they tried this a little different. It looks like a big coat, and he's kind of got his tights on underneath, so it looks a little weird, but it's pretty accurate for the most part. And I thought this was just a nice change of pace from the, you know, Triple H's we were getting in the traditional line, because they could have easily cheaped out and went with one of those Triple H's in this. Instead, they gave us a true flashback, which is even more classic right now. So kudos to Jakks on this one. They didn't take the easy way out, if you ask me. So there you go. There he is. And then you got the name on the side, of course. And there's the old glamour shot. And then, of course, the back. There it is. Look at that. You got the whole lineup down below as usual. There he is, the old glamour shot up top. You know, this is a perfect time to say, I don't think I've talked about this, and I just noticed it. Parental guidance suggested 12 and up is what it says on the back. So I think that was in the last series. I didn't make a call on it, but I thought that was really interesting that was added. I don't know the exact reason about that. If there was obviously anything like that that's added to a package, it had to do with a customer complaint or a service complaint or somebody called a hotline or something. There was some reason. They wouldn't just put that on for fun. I know that from my real world job. Those kind of things do happen, but really weird. This is 2009, also in Series 24. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So we're basically in the final year of Jakks owning the license as Mattel took over January 1st, 2010. So we're really at the dying days of the Class Superstars lineup. This line didn't have a lot of accessories, as you've noticed so far. We will see kind of the deterioration of the line over the next couple of sets, but a few gems still to go that I think a lot of you guys will like, and I really did like. But the back here, got a little long-winded on there. The hands, everything look the same. He does have a different fist on this one, but that's really the only change. The head scan might be a little different, but not really much. But once again, like I said, I really like this figure. I think it's a sleeper Triple H. It's probably the sleeper Triple H of the set. Maybe the sleeper Triple H of the whole Ruthless Aggression era type figures. So there you have it. There's Triple H. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up is one we've seen in the past. I did do a video where I put all these together. We walked over line by line of all these LJN-inspired ones. And this is the LJN-inspired in Series 24. We're looking at Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night, of course. Taking a peek there. There he is. Once again, they made guys, or Rob Van Dam, the old glamour shot. They made guys that never had a traditional LJN, that if an LJN line was coming out right now, who would be the people in them? This would be, Rob Van Dam would have been one of the ones chosen, apparently. I've said it before, I would have liked to have seen a single set, maybe a Classic Superstar sub-series set of these. I think that would have made me a lot happier, and maybe a lot of you guys a lot happier. if that's the way they would have done that. They could have left them out, separated them. I think they would have been found on a little more fondness in this day and age, because it did take, in the traditional line, it took the spot of somebody you were hoping to get. Some of those deep cut characters we didn't get. I would have loved to have seen Jakks Class Superstars, LJN inspired, Series A and B. Put them to the side, but it is what it is. So there you go. Rob Van Dam. We'll read the back here. 235 pounds, 6 feet tall. Finishing move, the 5-star Frog Splash. Titles, WWE Champion, ECW Champion, ECW Television Champion, ECW Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, World Tag Team Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, European Champion, and Hardcore Champion. Man, what a career of Mr. RVD between ECW and WWE. After this was made, he obviously had more WWE runs, Impact runs. I mean, he's been around for a long time doing what he does. That is for sure. Not too much of a difference on the prototype on the back. Pretty much the same thing. They did add the gray, kind of a gray beard to him. I don't know if that picks up. That's kind of weird. A gray type 5 o'clock shadow type stuff. But then you look at the prototype picture on the back at the very top. There is no beard. So that was added later. I don't know what to think about this one. I think this is one I still need to get loose. It's on my long game. I'm not in a super big rush to get these, but I want to get a loose set to go with my LJNs and my WCW OSFTMs. That's my plan. But there he is, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam, the LJN inspired of Classic Superstars Series 24. Let's see who's up next. All right, we roll on in Series 24, and we're going to end the video with 2 tag teams. I love that they put the tag teams in the same set. We've talked about it before. Sometimes the tag teams, like the Hardy Boys, were split up between series. They seem to have got their senses together at Jakks, so we got to put them in the same set. And that's what they did. So we did get the Killer Bees here, which was an interesting one to me, because we did get a 2-pack of the Killer Bees prior to this, and that pretty much covered what we wanted for the Killer Bees. There was not a huge point of difference between these two and the tag team. We will get to the tag team in the tag team series, but the tag team did come with the traditional mask the Killer Bees wore. That was awesome. I really applauded that. These did not come with the mask. Instead, they came with 2 yellow headbands. Kind of a head scratcher. There is a point of difference there, so that is kind of good, but I always thought the mask one, if you're going to get any Killer Bee set, you need to get the 2-pack with the mask. That just makes a lot more sense. I'm not really sure why these were brought into the single line, as I don't think anybody was clamoring for more Killer Bees figures. At least I wasn't. So I don't know, but we'll talk about old Jumpin' Jim Brunzell first. AWA Midwest staple. There he is, old Jim Brunzell. Got the B-stripe pants. I mean, it looks like the Killer Bees. It looks like Jim Brunzell. I mean, it's a good figure. I just don't know if we need 2 of these in the line. But there he is. On the back, Jim Brunzell. The old glamour shot. There it is. Let's see. Any differences in the prototype? No. Straight up, same thing. Just doesn't show the headbands and the glamour shots back here. They gave him kind of the bigger body mold of the 2. Maybe fits. Let's see what it says. Not a lot about Jim Brunzell. 235 pounds, 5'10". Finishing move, the high drop kick. He did have an amazing drop kick, but no other details are given there. So there it is, Jim Brunzell. I mean, kind of is what it is. Brian Blair. I always thought of Brian Blair as the leader of the Killer Bees. Maybe that's just me. I'd be curious if that's what you guys thought. Kind of like Demolition. I always thought Axe was the leader. In the Road Warriors, I always thought Paul Ellering was the leader, I guess. And I kind of thought Hawk and Hamill were similar. But there's always a tag team where you think one guy kind of leads the charge. You know, it's funny, as a kid, I always thought the Rockers, I always thought Marty Jannetty was more of kind of the leader of the team. And maybe it's because he was a little older than Shawn. I don't know. But Brian Blair, to me, was always the leader of the Killer Bees. I'd be curious if you guys have even ever thought of who the leader of the Killer Bees was. But there's Brian Blair. Very similar getup, a little more shredded than Jim Brunzell. Same headband. No other accessories outside of that. There he is, old B. Brian Blair. The Iron Sheik's biggest enemy these days. Here's a picture on the side. I met Brian Blair a few times over the years at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame up in Waterloo. Every July they have their big show. I would strongly recommend you guys going to it. Actually, I saw Brian Blair's retirement match at there. Maybe it was 2 years ago or so. It was supposedly his last wrestling match ever, and he actually wrestled my buddy James Jeffries. James, if you're watching, what's up? He wrestled James Jeffries, and that was Brian Blair's final match ever. So I thought that was cool. That's something cool James Jeffries can always tell one day. But I always thought the head scan on this one was perfect. This looks identical to Brian Blair. I mean, Brian Blair hasn't really aged a ton over the last 20, 25 years. He looks very similar to this day, even with the hair. So a very, very strong one. Mattel, as we know, have never done the Killer Bees. We have never got the Killer Bees from Mattel. I would love to. Be a great collector's line, something like that. I just don't know how well they'd sell. Out of all the tag teams of the mid-'80s, there's so many. Killer Bees kind of been lost. People know them, but I don't know if they really want figures of them. I would, of course, but I could be in the minority out there. But I'm just happy we got a set of the Killer Bees. I do have a loose set of the tag team one. We'll go over that when we do the tag teams. And I do have those displayed with my elites until we get an elite set, which I'm not going to hold my breath for. Let me read the back here on Brian Blair, too. 235 pounds, 6'1", finishing move, the sleeper. Not a lot of description about these guys. Brian Blair had a long singles run career as well, down in Florida and stuff like that, where Brunzell was pretty much a tag team specialist with old Greg Gagne up there in the AWA, and then with Brian with the Killer Bees. So there you have it. We're finishing this set off with 2 tag teams. We got one more, and my favorite of the set, and one of my favorite tag teams in the line. We're going to finish it off with the British Bulldogs. All right, we close out Classic Superstars Series 24 video talking about the British Bulldogs, and I was really excited for this one when they announced these. I love this outfit on the Bulldogs with kind of the baseball shirts going on. This is when I think British Bulldogs, I think of them wearing these. So very, very happy to get this. We did get a 2-pack in their traditional ring garb for, wrestling garb, but this is kind of the entrance gear, I would say. They, had this for a while. They wore this and really always liked this outfit. Very cool. We did get a single Dynamite, which we talked about. We also got a single Bulldog, a little different, but really love this 2-pack. I would love to get these 2 loose. It's on my to-do list one of these days. What I'd really love to have happen is Mattel make these 2 identical to this outfit with removable shirts like this. That's what I'd prefer than having to track down loose ones of these. So hopefully one day, Mattel, if you're watching, let's make that happen. But let's talk about the Dynamite Kid first. There he is. There's that outfit I was telling you about. Just very cool. Very cool. Totally 80s. I still to this day love these kind of shirts. I wear a lot of heavy metal shirts that are like this, kind of the baseball jersey type. Very, very cool. There's Dynamite Kid on the side. There's the old head scan. And, of course, there's the back of the package with the whole lineup down below. 12 and up, as we all know. Dynamite, I love the head scan on this one. I think it's pretty much accurate. Yeah, pretty much accurate to the prototype. Thought they did a really great job with the head on this one, just like the other one we saw. And we'll talk more British Bulldogs when we get to the 2-packs. But really, probably my most wanted tag team in Mattel, as I said. Dynamite Kid, 228 pounds, 6 feet tall, finishing move, the diving headbutt, championships, world tag team champion, of course. Very cool. I love Dynamite. Just happy to have him in the line. And then, of course, you got the British Bulldog, who had a much bigger run than Dynamite in the United States for sure. I don't know who's more fondly thought of in this day and age. I think a lot of people have an emotional connection to the Bulldog, but a lot of high flyers he influenced, especially a lot of the 90s guys, Benoit, Malenkos, Guerreros, Owen Hart's, you name them. A lot of those guys influenced by Dynamite Kid. So I don't know. Dynamite probably had a longer lasting legacy as far as in-ring work, where Bulldog more the character and all that kind of stuff. But both great superstars, 2 childhood favorites of mine. There's the old Bulldog. Love the short hairdo on him on here. They did totally mess up the 2-pack, and we'll get to that in the 2-packs. But I love the short-haired version of Bulldog on this one. Besides that, pretty much the same as the Dynamite Kid. There he is on the side. And there's the back glamour shot there. And same one back up top here with the whole line down below. But just great. I wish they would have used this on the 2-pack. And we'll talk more about that down the road. Weight 260 pounds, 6'3". Power slam is his finishing move, of course. Titles, WWE Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and European Champion. So not too shabby. Like I said, a must have these British Bulldogs. We need an elite so bad. I hope it happens one of these days. We do have a new elite of British Bulldog, kind of single run British Bulldog. Actually not single, more of tag team, and I think we're going to see a lot of people butchering some of these classic superstar Dynamite Kids and putting them on a Bulldog elite head so you can make your own Bulldogs. I don't like that, but I guess the more of these that are destroyed, the more the value pops up on these. If you're playing some long game right now, if you have some Dynamite Kids and stuff, start getting ready to sell those. So I think that'll be pretty hot, and we'll see those jump in price here in the next month or so, maybe even less than that if it hasn't already. But I don't recommend chopping your Classic Superstars heads off. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel right. But there you go. The British Bulldogs love to finish with an awesome tag team like this. So hope you guys enjoyed the Classic Superstars 24 deep dive. We're getting to the end of the Classic single series. Like I said, we got a few more left. It'll take us throughout the year 2020. And then we'll jump into some tag teams, 3-packs, and all the other fun stuff that Jakks brought us over the years. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a little like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this. And leave me your comments on Jakks Classic Superstars Series 24. Did you pick all these up? Did you pick and choose? Did you get none of them? Were they before your time? Were they after your time? All kinds of fun stuff we can talk about. But leave me a comment on your thoughts on Classic Series 24. And for the Bulldogs, I'm Kyle. I'll see you guys all real soon.